Both of their voices abruptly stop. Miss Takeda lets out a small gasp as if in surprise. I catch a tiny glimpse through the crack in the door. Oh, Asuka, never change. Yeah, I really appreciate how expressive she is as a character. I feel like that's not the norm with these kinds of protagonists. They're generally, at least like in Yuri visual novels, or in my experience, they're all stoic and closed up, and Asuka seems fairly open and expressive with her emotions, at least. Anyway, welcome back to Nurse Love Addiction. Last time we fuddled through our first week of school. We also got to see the healing hands at work, and now we're seeing something else at work with these two. These two make me anxious, because each of them is supposed to be a root, right? But they're in a relationship with each other. Just lots of anxiety building up here. For a moment, I seem to hear a moan coming from Miss Takeda's lips. By the time I realize it, I've stepped away from the door and rushed off. I can sense myself panicking in my head, yet my thoughts are occupied by the heat rising to my face, and I cannot recall what went through my mind until I've returned to our dorm room. Oh man, did we just run back in our nursing uniform? I leap back into our room, earning a surprised look from Now. Having lacked the mental capacity to change clothing, the best I had been able to do was take my own clothes out from the locker and dash back to our room. I'm surprised we were even capable to do that. If you didn't even change, might as well have just left the clothes there. Perhaps due to the running, or perhaps due to other reasons, my entire body is hot and I am incredibly thirsty. Wheezing, I managed to gasp out a couple of words. Now quickly brings me a glass of water. I gulp down the entire glass. I sluggishly turn my face towards the questioning Now. The image of what I saw is burned inside my mind. Oh, my body temperature is rising again. The two of them had been kissing. It had appeared that Miss Amato had aggressively initiated the kiss, but Miss Takeda, she didn't seem to be strongly against it either. Her hand on Miss Amato's arm, her almost audible moan, her lips. Placing the emptied glass back into Nao's hand, I open my mouth. That doesn't count. The two of them had been kissing. A real kiss. Not that I know whether or not they're fake ones. Well-bred girls, distinguished and beautiful. And lovers. I say with a serious expression on my face. Well, I'm glad our focus is still on what's important. That test. The heat is still coursing through my body, and I don't know where I can find an outlet for it. Having made my proclamation, I realize... Oh boy. Man, I feel like I'm not used to making choices in these games because I tend to end up playing more of the kinetic novels than the actual quote-unquote visual novels. Oh, man. Well, you know what? That test is very important. Let's get our butt in gear. Come on. We'll go back to school because we're trying to be independent and pass our test. Sleep. Who needs sleep? Anyone who's been in a tough program knows that you pull all-nighters all the time for torture. Now advises me against it, but I decide to go back to the academy again. I resolve that I do want to double-check my bed making one last time. It may already be closed. Please, no. Just then. Teacher out in the wild.
どうしました？学校に忘れ物ですか？あ、いえ、実習室で明日のベッドメイキングの確認しようかなって。
Hearing my words, Miss O'Hara looks towards the school building.
あ、そうね。さっき閉めたところなのよ。ですよね。でも、そうね。せっかく自主練習に来たのだもの。少しの時間なら。
Alright, we get points with the teacher for our dedication and our discipline. And we're gonna get to practice, see?
え？生徒のやる気には応えてあげたいですし。
Miss O'Hara smiles. And so I managed to get a chance to use the training room. My preparation for tomorrow is all set. Plus, I was able to run into Miss O'Hara. Luck seems to be on my side. And so... Dude, we're gonna ace that thing. Hopefully. I hope. The next day... I've passed, just as I proclaimed last night. I can do it when I set my mind to it. Wow. Private lessons with the teacher pay off, huh? I'm happy, so happy. I love beds. Me too. And just like that, my goal is returned. Miss O'Hara looks at me as if she doesn't quite comprehend what I mean. Oops. Hey, she's the one who said she likes a student's enthusiasm, so I think we're still good in her book, even with our weird outbursts. Then, on one particular weekend... I run into Miss Amato in the hallway of our dorm. I hold up the plastic bag containing things I bought at the convenience store. She says teasingly before drawing her face close to peek into the bag. Her candid words cause my temper to rise for a moment, but I can't come up with a retort. After all, she's already discovered I gained 2 kilograms, thanks to my own stupidity. A couple of dorm students who happen to be passing by call out to her. She answers casually. I realize how popular she is. Seeing Miss Amato's profile as she waves towards the other girls, I suddenly remember. And didn't Sakuya say something about girls inviting Itsuki back to their place or inviting her somewhere? We gotta watch out for this one. She seems like she's a bit of a player or too popular. and maybe a little manipulative. I'm just throwing that out there. I get way crazy manipulative vibes from Itsuki. The kiss, the one that I saw in the training room.
遊びに行くのって武田さんと？
I asked, thinking it might be a date.
姫？違う違う。え？あれより可愛げのある子だよ。その分手間もかかるけど。
She speaks so nonchalantly.
はい？
I'm a bit flustered. Is she cheating on her, and so brazenly? Or is Miss Takeda alright with it? Is their relationship just casual? Is this just how rich people do things? Probably nothing to do with it.
嘘だよ。相手は昨夜姫。
What? Why the hell would you just say you weren't, and now you're saying you are? She admits her trickery. I let out a sigh of relief. Thinking about it, it isn't really my place to feel flustered or relieved. But for some reason, I can't really imagine the two of them ever betraying each other. That sounds like foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing if I've ever seen it. Thinking such thoughts, my body temperature rises a little again. And then a question enters my mind. Something in Miss Amato's words tug at me. It's not what it seems. Those were the same words she had said on the stairway the first time we met after my first day of school. She had spoken quietly, as if to keep it a secret from those around us. And the other things she said, like, I finally found you and I'll revise. There are too many mysteries surrounding Miss Amato, but the biggest mystery of all is this. That one takes the cake. Wow, forward. I really doubt that's what we wanted to ask you. Please keep your personal life to yourself. Well, maybe I'd be a little curious. God.
初めて会った時言ってたよね。あれってどういう意味だったのかなって。
Miss Amato seems to consider this for a moment.
私そんなこと言ったっけ?
There had seemed to be so much meaning behind those words, and yet she doesn't even remember saying it?
ああ、口癖みたいなもんだからね。あんまり本当のこと言わないんだ、私。
I don't know if that's something you want to admit about yourself, but...
人としてダメなんじゃ。まあ、だから気にしないでよ。多分意味ないから。
I had forgotten as well, so I guess there's no reason to be bothered. I'm not a very honest person, but that time at the training room when she had said to Miss Takeda, I have eyes for no one but you, I felt like she was being honest then. If she's a liar that will only tell the truth when she's with her lover, well, that's actually kind of hot. Whoa. Whoa. Anyway, I hear Miss Takeda's voice. From far off, she is humming to herself quietly. I look down the hallway and see Miss Takeda exiting her dorm room, unaware of us. Noticing this, Miss Amato says, Ah, here she is. I'd be more concerned about that nickname she likes to call us than any of those other things she said. Miss Amato waves at me and walks away. I nod and begin to head back to my room. I suddenly feel as if I'm being watched and turn around. Miss Amato is looking at me, a smile playing on the corner of her lips. It is a mischievous smile that seems to be plotting something. Then she softly moves her lips. It's not what it seems.
何が？
The truth about whether she might be cheating or not? Or the fact that she isn't very honest? Or maybe she's referring to the nickname Dummy Girl. I think that last one's highly unlikely. No, I doubt that's the case. I want to ask her, but Miss Amato immediately turns and follows after Miss Takeda.
わかんね
If Now was here, she would warn me about my language. But Miss Amato's actions are too much of a mystery to me. Most likely, I shouldn't let her words get to me. Deciding not to return to my room, I walk towards the entrance and watch the two of them leave. I can faintly hear Miss Takeda's playful humming. I hadn't known she could be playful like that. It's a little unexpected, honestly. But
好
well,
きな人とのデートだもんね
Miss Takeda is walking by the dormitory with Miss Amato right behind her. They're not walking side by side. Neither are they too close or too far. The distance between them is that of two people who know each other well. They really paint a picture together, I think. No wonder they were chosen as the #1 couple in high school for 3 years in a row. Somehow they seem to exist on another plane from me.
おかえりお姉ちゃん
Now greets me with a smile.
なおちゃんの笑顔はほっとするよ急にどうしたのお姉ちゃんなおちゃんはずっとそのままでいてね遠くに行かないどくれ脱妹宣言はどうなったんだろう
Now teases, and I pretend not to have heard.
大丈夫なおはずっとお姉ちゃんの妹だよなお、お姉ちゃんの特効薬だもんなおちゃんでも、お勉強は厳しくいきます明日のためにね
Now smiles.
あれほっとできない
Damn.
博愛はいそれでは今日の看護総合論の授業では
The next week we have our first group work in class.
グループワークとはただ集団で学習するだけではなく看護師として必要なコミュニケーション能力を高めることを目的としていますこれは患者さんとの対話だけでなく病院での他の看護師や医師といった方々との対話能力も指していますなので自分の考えをはっきりと伝えながら相手の話もよく聞き議論を深めていってください
Miss O'Hara continues.
それとこれから行うグループ分けのメンバーで夏休み前に行われる病院実習にも行ってもらいます
She smiles as she gives us this important information.
病院実習
Training amongst real nurses at a real hospital? For us nursing students, this will be the most valuable experience we could have. There is the possibility that all the nurses would collapse and we would be left to protect the patients. Yeah, that probably won't be happening. Even so, the jellyfishish part of me drifts into this daydream, causing my excitement to grow. After all, this is the workplace of my dreams. Literally. Well, in any case, teamwork between group members will be really important.
ではグループを発表します大事ってよろしくねよろしくお姉ちゃんともどもよろしくお願いしますやら よろしくお願いするわ。
And so these are the 6 members of our group. I can feel the gazes of people from the other groups. They are envious-ish, but seriously, come on.
では、今日のグループワークの課題は
Oh,
交換です。
I wonder how that exercise is gonna go.
患者さんにとってどんな意味があるのか、効率よく行うポイントは何かなど話し合ってくださいね。
I mean, this is serious business, though. Very important stuff for nurses, I
実習室を
believe.
使って実際に練習もして意見をまとめるように。
Saying this, Miss O'Hara leaves the rest to us students. Machi Tatsumi and Michitori seem friendly enough. It appears they are already friends and seem to be happy to be in the group. Other than that, there's Miss Takeda, who seems to hate me, and Miss Amato, who is a complete mystery to me. Handling the both of them would probably be difficult even for now. So yes, as the elder sister, I'll take the initiative and lead.
するしかない。
I shoot my hand up in the air.
じゃあ自己紹介からしてみるとかかな。必要ないでしょ。もうみんな顔と名前は一致しているはずよ。だよね。
I received the counterpunch full on. Miss Amato is grinning.
くそ。最初は自分たちに当てはめて話してみるのはどうかな。ね、お姉ちゃん。
Now offers tactfully. Good job now.
自分たち。自分がどんな格好で寝てるかとか、誰かに着替えさせてもらうとしたらどんなことが気になるかとか考えて言ってみるの。いいんじゃない。初期のレベル上げは町から離れずがセオリーだし。よくわからんです、その例え。ゲームの話でしょ。昨べも遅くまでやっていたようだし。仮ゲーより RPG 派。知らんがな。黙りなさい。そうね。私も自分のことから話すのに賛成だわ。私も。
As if to confirm how well they get along, Miss Tatsumi and Miss Tori speak in unison.
よかった。
Within the group, I see the invisible now stalks rising. I let out a small grunt.
やー、偶然。私もそう言おうと思ってたんだ。先越されちゃったな。
Poor Asuka. I feel ya. I feel like I've been in that position before, and then you just kind of jump in, and yeah. It's my bad habit that I say things I shouldn't at times like this. Oh, as you do. She glares at me. Eek.
自分が眠る時の格好ね。
Well, we already know what you wear when you sleep. A look of contemplation crosses Miss Takeda's face. Remembering Miss Amato's words, I panic slightly, even though I know she had been joking. But had she? Perhaps noticing me acting oddly, Miss Takeda asks me suspiciously.
何かしら、大崎さん。
Both Now and I ask in unison. We are both Miss Osachi, after all. Miss Takeda realizes this.
そうね。姉妹なのだから、これじゃあどちらかわからないわね。
She looks thoughtful for a moment.
アスカ。
My heart lets out a small leap, just by her saying my first name.
仕方ないでしょ。あなたも私のことは昨夜でいいわ。え？じゃあ私もいつきで。昨夜ちゃん、いつきちゃん。ちゃんはやめて。
Wow, that's intimate. It's really stepping it up a notch. Miss Takeda narrows her eyebrows. Does she consider nicknames to be childish?
お姉ちゃん、なおは ずっとなおちゃんがいいな。
Perhaps sensing the tension or completely unaware of it, now blurts this out suddenly. Well played. So, what should I call Miss Takeda?
さくやか。
Well, let's just cut out the awkwardness. Jump right into it. Well, she's saying that it's all right.
わかった。ただ呼び捨てはちょっとなんなので。さくやさん、いつきさん、なおちゃん。
Now grins, seeming oddly happy about something. Miss Takeda seems a little dissatisfied about the miss thing, but she says nothing. After all, she has her aura of being above earthly concerns to think about. As for Miss Tatsumi and Miss Tori, once again they speak in unison, and so ultimately we decide to call them with just their first names. Miss Takeda, now to be called Miss Sakuya, speaks up once again.
眠る時の格好。そうね。私のはワンピースで、おそらく入院生活には向かないわ。ちなみにレース付き。おお、レース付きワンピース。お嬢様っぽい。量じゃちょっと浮いてる。本人気づいてないけど。ほら姫だから。なるほど。聞こえているわよ。別に浮いてなんかいないわ。そうだっけ。私はまあ適当かな。たまに裸で。あんただったんかい。
In response to Miss Itsuki's words, Machi and Michi let out squeals of delight. Ooh. Well, they're giving her the response she wants.
なおたちは色違いのお揃いだよね。セパレートの普通のパジャマ。
In such a way, we talk about our nightwear and what we would do if we were hospitalized.
でも学校でパジャマの話を真面目にするってなんか不思議だね。人が人らしく生活するための衣食住に関わる大事な話よ。特に入院患者にとっては一日全部をそれで過ごすのだから。だよね。
A sigh escapes Miss Sakuya's lips. I've grown used to her exasperation with me.
教科書に心意交換も書いてあるけれど、まずはそれに頼らず話し合いましょう。
Miss Sakuya suddenly raises the bar for us with her statement.
すぐ攻略本に頼るのもね。
Once again, Miss Itsuki seems to be making references to gaming.
ではアスカ、あなたから。いえ。どうして驚くの？心意交換において何がポイントと思うか話して。お姉ちゃん、ファイト。
Now quietly sends me a few words of encouragement. Pajamas, pajamas. What to pay attention to when changing the patient's pajamas? It must be important to think of it from the patient's perspective. If I were a patient, what would make me happy? All right.
ポイントは褒める。は？浴衣似合ってますねとか、可愛いパジャマですねとか。
Huh?
なんだろう、この空気。
You know, I don't think that's totally a bad answer, though. I mean, you'd want your patients to feel good about themselves. I imagine some of them probably would prefer that, especially if it was like jokingly and they had a good sense of humor. You know.
一歩間違えれば皮肉ね。毎日変わり映えのない病院のシーンを着ている相手に。
Cold. So cold this one is. Miss Sakuya responds coldly. Oh, read my mind. Everyone seems to agree with this assessment. Machi and Michi are nodding. Hey, aren't you two a little too easily swayed? Good old now, always there to support us. Why do I feel like we might have to pay for that support, though, down the line? Now support. Incidentally, the points for changing nightwear mentioned in the textbook are a consideration of the patient's privacy and careful monitoring of the temperature of the room. Nowhere do they mention complimenting the patient for having adorable pajamas. Yeah, you can't rely on textbooks for practical application anyways. Even after that, whenever I would say anything, Miss Sakuya would sternly point out the flaws in my argument. Even during our group practice at the training room, this continued and continued. That was a cute groan. After school, I walked through the hallway like a zombie or a ghost. From behind me, I hear Miss O'Hara's voice. I swallow my words. Miss O'Hara watches me blankly. Miss O'Hara, the white-robed angel, the nurse that I want to be just like. I don't want someone like that to see me now in my worn-out state. I look so uncool. But was there ever a time when that I was cool? Probably not. I shake my head ruefully. Man, I love Asuka's honesty. I just have to reiterate that. It's so nice to have a protagonist who's like somewhat in touch with her feelings enough to be honest about them. I laugh and Miss O'Hara smiles gently. Miss O'Hara's words warm my heart a little. Okay, maybe a little too honest. I don't know if I would have said that. Miss O'Hara looks surprised and a little amused. I stare at her. Miss O'Hara says, I nod, and then I make my confession for the first time. The next second, oh no. Don't be sad about that, it's a good thing. Miss O'Hara's expression seems to change for a split second, as if she were suppressing pain. Perhaps in response to my confusion, Miss O'Hara explains gently. Miss O'Hara's words help me better comprehend her meaning. However, I decide it's for the best not to tell her that as far as I'm concerned, she'll always be my role model.
ありがとう先生。元気出ました。はい。ではまた明日。
She grins. Flashing her angelic smile, Miss O'Hara walks away. Watching her from behind, I decide to try my best to follow in Miss O'Hara's footsteps. Somewhere from within Miss O'Hara's clothes, an envelope falls and flutters to the floor in front of my feet. Uh-oh, what's that? I pick it up and read the words on the front. Uh-oh.
辞職願い。
Oh no.
なんでもありません。
Oh! Clearly we weren't supposed to see that. She moves with lightning speed. Right after, or perhaps even as I read the words, Miss O'Hara, who had walked away, appears in front of me again in a split second. She quickly takes back the envelope I had picked up. I don't understand what's going on. Letter of resignation? Resignation? A declaration of her intent to quit her job? Her job as a nursing teacher.
先生、辞めるの？
Even as I cannot seem to fully grasp the situation, I feel my eyes begin to burn.
違います。
Miss O'Hara firmly denies this suggestion.
でもそれって。
Miss O'Hara appears to want to put it away in her breast pocket immediately, but as if resigning herself to the fact that I have seen it, she continues to hold the envelope in her hands. As I remain unable to say anything further, all I can do is feel my vision beginning to blur.
これは。先生。
I remain unable to do anything but gaze at Miss O'Hara with watering eyes. A small sound escapes Miss O'Hara's lips.
これは拾ったんです。そうなんです。落ちてたのを先生が拾ったんです。
Oh, please. We're not gonna buy that, are we?
それだけなんです。それ以外の何物でもないんです。私のものじゃないんです。だから気にしないでください。誰のだろうこれ。名前書いてないからわかんないですね。困った。だから他の誰にもこのことは言わないでください。
Miss O'Hara smiles. I remain in a daze.
言わないでくださいね。
Miss O'Hara smiles and smiles and smiles, but all at once I feel a bulldozer-like rush of pressure from her. Okay, I won't. I mean, I kind of want to choose this, but I'm not big on blackmail. Even though I don't believe you for a second, Miss O'Hara, that it's not yours. Miss O'Hara's relief is palpable. I feel almost as if I could touch it with my hands.
それならいいんです。はい、いいんですよ。先生。
Not fully understanding what's going on, in the end, there is only one thing I want to confirm.
はい。先生は。先生辞めないですよね。
In response to my words, Miss O'Hara says,
はい。
and there seems to be both laughter and something close to tears in her expression. Well, that was suspicious.
白衣性愛情依存症。
And I wonder how honest she was being about not resigning. But I'm pretty sure that letter of resignation was hers. One day at the end of May,
ごめんね、お姉ちゃん。
now, who I'm usually always going home with after school, comes to me.
解剖整理の先生に手伝ってほしいことがあるって頼まれちゃって。断れたらよかったんだけど。いいよ、行ってきて。 なおちゃん先生に人気あるもんね。
During high school, Nao's popularity with the teachers was the stuff of legend. According to stories, it caused teachers to fight over her in the staff room. She was also popular with the older students, I recall.
なるべく早く終わらせて帰るから。うん。折りたたみ傘持ってるよね。今日雨降るらしいから。入ってるよ。ほら。
I slapped my bag to show her. Outside the window, I can see clouds have gathered. It looks like it might rain at any time, even though it's still a little early for raining season.
じゃあね。後で。
Saying this, I step out of the classroom first. I turn around and see that Nao is watching me with a reluctant and somewhat lonely expression on her face. I laugh and wave my hand to show her it's all right. By the time I walk from the classroom to the front entrance, it has already started to rain, and with quite some force.
ああ、これは梅雨の雨じゃないな。
There seems to be a wind as well, and the sky appears restless.
嵐でも来そう。
Not that I meant it metaphorically, but speak of the devil.
嵐が来た。
Here comes trouble. Miss Sakuya is standing there at the front entrance, and my mind makes a mean little connection. If I told her, she'd get angry for sure. I'll keep it a secret. Miss Sakuya glances over at me for only a second before looking forward again.
じゃあ。
She spreads open the umbrella in her hand and, not paying any heed to me, walks off into the rain. Miss Sakuya is on her own as well. Miss Itsuki, who she always goes home with, isn't here today. But I guess things like that happen. I don't give it much thought as I take the fold-up umbrella out of my bag and open it. A small yawn escapes my lips. Recently, I haven't been sleeping much. Of course, this is due to my studies. Of course. After all, I have my own live-in tutor, and now...
帰ったら、なおちゃん戻ってくるまで昼寝でもしてよっかな。
Saying this, I step out into the rain. Oh my god, what was that? A harsh wind blows and carries my umbrella away from my grasp, sending it floating into the air. It lands on the road in front of the school. A truck rushes across, running it over. Rest in peace, umbrella. I stare in a stunned daze. As the hard rain falls at an angle, I stand there for a while. What just happened? Just then...
何をぼーっとしているの?
Oh, she came back for us. I hear Miss Sakuya's accusing voice. Miss Sakuya walks over towards me, then grabbing my arm, she pulls me beneath the eaves of the main entrance.
バカね。濡れてしまっているじゃない。見てた。ええ、あなたが声を上げたところから一部始終をね。どうするの？どうするって。
For a second, I don't understand what she means. A small sigh escapes Miss Sakuya's lips.
入っていきなさい。
She be nice to us? Or does she want something from us? Not sure. What an extraordinary turn of events. Oh boy. Well, I feel like if I don't accept her offer, she's gonna make me accept her offer or be really pissed off about it. So... let's try and get on her good side. Yes! Such a great way to accept an invitation like that. Deciding to take advantage of her offer, I bow my head deeply. Miss Sakuya narrows her eyebrows. Is she blushing?
まったく。いやー、助かったです。ありがとう。放っておけなかっただけよ。アスカ、もっとこっちに寄りなさい。でももう結構濡れちゃってるし、寄ったら咲夜さんまで。何度も言わせないで。ほら。
Prompted by Miss Sakuya, I draw closer to her. Our arms touch. For a while, we walk in silence. Miss Sakuya doesn't try to force conversation. The only sounds that enter my ears are the rain pounding on the umbrella and the occasional car driving by. Alone with Miss Sakuya, and at such a close distance, walking next to each other in silence. The girl who, even if she doesn't hate me, doesn't particularly like me. I should be nervous.
なんでだろう。全然平気。平気？何が？
In response to my whisper, Sakuya asks us suspiciously. I shake my head from side to side.
なんでもないよ。今日は一緒じゃないんだね。ああ、いつき？うん。別にいつも一緒のわけではないわ。いつきならクラスの子たちに捕まっていたわね。
Miss Itsuki really is popular. She had also been approached that time in our dorm. But Miss Sakuya doesn't seem to be worried at all. I guess they trust each other. They are lovers after all. Well, I'm sure she probably uses really good shampoo, if she's really a princess. I say in quotes. Nursing students are discouraged from wearing perfumes or strong-smelling cosmetics. Apparently, it doesn't matter much when you're a student, but when you're a nurse and you interact with patients, it is not very good manners to have a strong scent. So Miss Sakuya doesn't seem to be using anything like that, but her hair still has a rich, intoxicating fragrance. Since she's a high-class girl, I think about how she probably uses really good shampoo. Man, read in my mind, this game.
勉強、テスト、レポート。そうね。医師とは違うけれど、私たちも患者の命を預かることがある仕事だから当然だわ。慢性的に看護師の数は不足しているけれど、だからといって基準を緩くすることもできない。なるほど。なんだか真剣味が足りないわね、あなたは。そんなことは。看護師の死亡理由がわからないというのは？ああ、それ。話しても笑わない？ええ。
And so I tell her about the career aptitude survey, about the picture book, and about the scribbling on the last page.
そういうことって咲夜さんもある？咲夜さん？ああ、ごめんなさい。そうね。私はないけれど、確かに人によってはありそうだわ。でもそこから本当にその夢を追おうというのは珍しいと思うわ。変わってる。なんか私変人みたい。そう言ったのよ。
Wow. There's a composed expression on Miss Sakuya's face. With the sound of the rain around us, there's something comforting about us conversing like this.
咲夜さんはそれが私のすべきことなのだって言ってたけど。なのだとは言ってないでしょ。でもノリはそんな感じだったよ。バーンって。
Yeah, you can't just like drop something like that and not mean for it to be dramatic. That's like you talking about destiny or fate.
幼い頃、長い間入院していたことがあったわ。その頃、看護師の方々によくしていただいて。あ、だからいい話。それだけでもないけれど、そういうことよ。
I feel a sense of admiration for her. I turn my gaze ahead of us. Beyond the confines of our umbrella, I can see the rain clouds. The girl who chased stars. Perhaps my next words are because I had talked about the world of stars in my picture book.
今夜は星が見えそうにないね。そうね。残念だわ。残念って、あ、咲夜さん星を見るのが好きなの？嫌いではないわね。というか、星を見るのが嫌いな人はそういないでしょ。確かに。アスカは星を見るのが好きなの？好きだけど、あんまり見ないかな。それは不思議ね。どうしてかしら。いや、だって見ると、うわー遠いなーって思っちゃって。ああ、それはわかるわ。本当？でもそれは普通のことよ。そうだけど。
With a somewhat gloomy expression on my face, I look at Miss Sakuya. Her face is composed as always. I can't help but think how beautiful she is. A star. That small star that I saw when I first met her. What had that been? Part of me wants to ask her, while another part thinks now is not the right time. We arrive at our dorm.
ありがとう。ずいぶん濡れているわ。早く部屋で着替えなさい。そうする。
Parting ways, I head to my room. Miss Sakuya and Miss Itsuki's room is on a floor above ours, so she walks to the stairs and I walk over to in front of my door. Usually I leave locking and unlocking the door to now, so now I go to pull out my key that has hardly seen any use. I go to pull it out, but... Uh-oh. Oh no. Did you misplace your key? It's not there. It's not in the place that it's supposed to be. Did I drop it somewhere? Did I leave it in our room? When was the last time I used it? Stupid me for relying so much on now. What should I do? Just as I consider how this is a case of my chickens coming home to roost. Oh my god. She can't leave us alone, is what's happening. From a little distance off, near the front of the stairs, I hear Miss Sakuya's voice, perfectly and completely exasperated. That makes two of us. And so... I hesitantly enter. In this manner, I step into Miss Sakuya and Miss Itsuki's room. Once again stating that she can't abandon me, I am invited by Miss Sakuya, or more accurately, I am ordered by her to enter their room to dry myself. As we live in the same dorm, the basic structure of the room is the same as ours, but of course, since it's someone else's room, the feel is different. It may just be my imagination, but there seems to be a scent of opulence in the air. Oh, there's also a gaming console. Feeling bad about stepping into the room with wet feet, I stand near the entrance. Can we do this in the bathroom? Saying this, Miss Sakuya brings her own bath towel along with an extra one. She holds it out to me. I take it. The bath towel seems to be of high quality. The moment I hold it, I can feel the difference in texture from my regular towel. I look and see that Miss Sakuya has begun to swiftly undress. My presence does not seem to bother her in the slightest. Well, I guess that's understandable. I begin to remove my clothes. I consider what to do with the clothes I remove, but decide to just let them fall to my feet for now. I dry my body with the bath towel. Its absorption qualities are amazing. I want it. And most likely, it'll cost me an arm and a leg. As I dry my body, I cast a glance towards Miss Sakuya. The outline of her body and profile. Her breathtakingly white skin. What can I say? God, don't gawk now. Now it's rude. I can't help myself from admiring it. The accusation in Miss Sakuya's voice brings me back to myself. I love how Asuka doesn't even try to deny it. She's like, no, I was staring, and your skin's beautiful, by the way. I tell her with heartfelt admiration. Miss Sakuya's cheeks flush slightly, and she puts on her nightwear as if quickly to hide her skin. I hope she's not too wary of me now. Ah, her lacy nightgown. Though really, if you wanted privacy, you probably should have had Asuka go change in the bathroom, or you go change in the bathroom. Having her lend me her clothes seems to be going a little too far. Miss Sakuya says this as if to scold me, then she walks over to her closet. I wait where I stand, somehow feeling jittery. Then Miss Sakuya opens the closet door and takes out a single shirt. She walks over to me as I stand near the entrance and holds out the shirt to me. It's a thin, classy blouse. It must belong to Miss Sakuya. Man, for someone who doesn't like us, she certainly takes care of us well. Saying this, Miss Sakuya thrusts it out onto me. I take a step forward and reach out my hand. I feel a cold sensation beneath my feet. It is my wet clothes that I had dropped onto the floor. My jacket. I'm slipping. My feet are slipping. Oh no. Oh no. Losing my balance, I use all the strength of my feet to try and stop myself. It has the opposite effect. I end up kicking up my wet jacket into the air with my foot, and my body falls forward into Miss Sakuya's arms. Ah, no. I swear, she falls too. Yep. Clutching onto each other, we tumble to the floor. Wow. That is... Where are your hands, Asuka? Watch your hands, girl. Anyways, next time we will figure out what happens after this. This real classy, cliche, oops, I fell and toppled and I'm on top of you and my hand just happens to be on your boob. Next time, talk to you then.